There are a lot of tremendous causes and charities in the Omaha area in Nebraska, involved in many of them. And we don't take for granted the fact that you chose to spend your night, your evening, your time with us. And we really want to thank you for doing that. I've had the privilege to be a part of the Nebraska Grace Foundation for approximately 6 years. A lot of tremendous things that have been involved with that. I have some incredible people that I've met through the board, tremendous board members, tremendous leaders, some of who you were introduced to tonight, some great donors. It's been fabulous. But the absolute best thing about this entire foundation, of course, is our recipients. That's why we are here. That's what we do. And I really think that everybody that's involved, I wish that everybody that's involved in the organization, whether it be a board member, a staff member, or a donor, could spend some time with those recipients, whether they're in physical therapy or when they're in a hospital bed or when they're in chemo treatments or whatever, because that's really what it's all about. And I really have a privilege and honor of introducing tonight one of our featured recipients. You'll hear her story. She'll tell a little bit about where she's from. She brought a fan base with her, which we love. But former Wayne State soccer standout Bridget McPhillips is here. Welcome. Got it on?
Yes, I do.
All right. Well, welcome. Bridget and I go way, way back. Actually, not really. About a month ago, yeah. I had a chance to meet Bridget as one of our recipients and met her wonderful family. And we got to talking, and as Nebraska people do, we started talking about people we know. And pretty soon, you know, my son and her brother play pickup basketball together. And it's just, you know, one of those types of things. It's really, really pretty cool. But Bridget, welcome. Thank you for sharing your story. Lincoln gal, right? Go Bolts, is that right?
Absolutely, yes.
Tell us a little bit about growing up. Oh, got a little Lincoln Pius action over there. Good for you. Tell us a little bit about growing up in Lincoln. I know you're a coach's kid. You have some brothers in a sports family. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so grew up in Lincoln. I have two of the world's greatest parents, Jim and Teresa Hansen, and I'm the oldest of 4 kids. I have 3 younger brothers, Jimmy, Robbie, and TJ. I love them dearly. It was a highly competitive childhood. I was the boss because I was the oldest, but we did a lot of sports. And yeah, really, well, we have a huge family that's been involved in athletics. I had 2 grandfathers that played collegiate football, and my dad, a coach's kid, and I coach myself now. But my love for soccer really started at such a young age.
Coach's kid, we were talking, and all of a sudden I'm like, your dad is Coach Hansen from Lincoln Pius? I mean, he's coached for 100 years, and he's influenced a lot of people, and he's kind of a legend in his own right. So we'll introduce him when we get done with this, but that's pretty cool as well. So soccer standout, you're pretty good growing up. How'd you end up at Wayne State?
So just like, well, I'm a school counselor, so I do this every day with college visits and helping kids find the right fit. I had looked locally, I would say, well, you know, within a couple hours of Nebraska when it was time to decide where I wanted to go to school. And, but one summer I decided to take a recruiting trip to North Dakota. And I found out.
Was that in January?
It didn't matter. I found out it was really far away and it was really cold. And there may or may not have been tears on my mother's eyes in front of the coach talking to them. I'm still a little mortified, Mom, sorry. But after that, no, I really realized that family is such a big part of me, and I wanted to go to a school where my family could go and support me, my family and my friends. And so I really started looking around and at colleges where it was like the highest level where I could contribute on the field and compete. Mm-hmm. And Wayne State was the perfect fit. And so many good relationships, like a lot of you can probably relate to, that are lifelong. But I can't speak highly enough of Wayne State just in general. The school and the community is like a family, and they support you no matter what.
One of the greatest things, and Bridget mentioned this when we were in the back, she talked about coming in here and how cool it was to see all the recipients and the banners and that sort of thing. And when this foundation first started, it kind of wrongly was like a Husker sort of a thing. And that is not what it's about. And one of the things that we love about the organization, we love about the foundation, is that we have recipients and we have donors from all over. And so you're a perfect case as far as that's concerned. So you're playing soccer at Wayne State. Tell us a little bit about your soccer experience.
It was fantastic. You know, you get to two-a-days when you first start, and you just bond with those girls. And it doesn't matter, you know, where you're from or what you major in. You just are there every waking minute together for like those first 2 weeks.
Lifelong friends.
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I still keep in touch with them. And they just, it's a little family in and of itself.
You mentioned that you're a counselor now. Where do you live? And tell us about your family.
I have an absolutely phenomenal husband. His name is Zach. We met at Wayne State, so that's another shout out to Wayne. But for the last 8 years, we've lived in Columbus, Nebraska, and we both teach at SCOTUS High School. I'm a school counselor. I love my job. I am so passionate about it, and every day I look forward to going. But we have a 7-year-old first grader. His name's Maverick. A 5-year-old pre-K. Her name is Gloria. And then my baby is 2.5, and her name is Blair.
And if any of you, Blair is signing autographs over there in the corner.
We had a little bit somewhere. Of a daycare hiccup, and so one of the children, are here.
And she's the prettiest one. She's the prettiest one here, by the way. Yeah. So talk just quickly about your diagnosis and your treatment and maybe how you heard about the Greats.
Yeah. So my story really kind of starts after I had my daughter, Blair. She was born in April of 22, and a couple months after that, I was nursing her, and I found a lump. Didn't really think too much of it because that's pretty normal for a nursing mom. And I gave it a couple of weeks. It didn't go away, so I decided to go in and get it checked out. 2 different professionals looked at it with ultrasound technology. It didn't look abnormal at all. So I finished out the rest of that year. When she had turned 1, she was nursing less. I thought I should see some changes. It didn't change. So I went back in, we did the full workup, and then it did come back looking abnormal. So they took the biopsy, and it came back, it's called angiosarcoma. So angio means blood, and sarcoma is in the soft tissue, and my cancer originates in the blood vessels. And it's very rare. I had it in my breast, but you could have it anywhere in your body.
You started your treatment plan, needed some help. Talk about your needs and Nebraska Grace and what they did for you.
Oh, yeah. I was referred locally to go to get it checked out, and this group had only ever seen 3 other women that had my same diagnosis. And it just didn't really sit right. And friends and family really helped look beyond Nebraska to see what we could do. There was a specialist at MD Anderson in Houston, Texas. And so I got in, we went down there, and am completely comfortable with his plan, but it was so much different than what we did locally. And so I have spent almost a year and a half traveling to and from Houston about every 6 weeks. And so you can imagine the financial burden that takes on top of the medical bills. And so really, Nebraska Grace, it wouldn't have been feasible.
One of the things we take pride in is that we handle and are very flexible as far as taking care of people in need. And it's an easy process. I hope you found that to be the case. Yeah. I would encourage anybody, we're going to be around here toward the end, you and your family are going to be here. Our main goal is to have you get to meet Bridget. She is a perfect representative of what we're here for. She's the why. and we really appreciate you sharing your story with us. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.